Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dwight here for Retro Crypto. Tooth is feeling a little better, but I just started complaining because I think they just shifted. So my wife's like, "What do you expect's going to happen?" Of course they're going to move. You got a big gap in there now, but that's where I'm at. Today looks beautiful, guys. I gotta admit, seeing Hex up 13%. Whew, a lot of stress off my shoulder, and I'm sure yours. Cardano's up 3%. You know I love Cardano. I'm always going to praise Cardano. Don't sleep on Cardano. Now, this video is going to be all about Hex, guys. But before we get started, got to remind you guys of something. I'm just an ordinary guy out there on the internet. It's essential that you do your own research before making any and all financial decisions, okay? But yeah, this video is going to be kind of a long-winded one. I got a lot I want to talk about. Got some serious Richard Heart news, some PulseX news. What else we got here? Definitely want to go over my technical analysis. Want to talk about liquid loans. That's a project you guys take advantage if you haven't heard about it yet. Another one is Mintra that you can take advantage if you haven't heard about that one yet. But anyway, I got a ton of stuff I want to cover in this video. So let's get going here. All right. Obviously, today is doing much better than yesterday. The world has accepted the fact that Ukraine has invaded Russia. Market crashed more or less, dipped a severe dip yesterday. It's on a bit of a rebound right now. But the Ukraine incident is still happening. Do not let this market fool you right now. The bottom could fall out any day. Yeah, scary stuff, guys. All right, so let's start looking here. Oh yeah, by the way, before we go, as usual, I forget every time. I have 916 subscribers so far. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I only need 84. Is it 84? Yeah, 84 more subscribers. Please, if you're watching this video, you're a Hexican. Please help out another fellow Hexican. Yes, I do love Cardano, but I am a true Hexican at heart. Go ahead and hit that subscription button. And for the rest of you that's already subscribed, make sure you hit that like button. That helps me out just as much. All right, and we keep this rolling here. All right, guys, we're starting different. The TA is going to be towards the middle. Technical analysis is towards the middle of this video today. I'm going to start with all the major news first. It's really awesome PulseX news, and I really think we're getting close to PulseChain launch. I don't have a date. I don't have a predicted range. It just feels like we're really getting close. All right. All right, let's see here. All right, PulseX sacrifice started. All right, we're going to do PulseX sacrifice. Sorry about that. All right, so right now we only have 3 hours and 59 minutes and 31 seconds left to sacrifice to PulseX, and it's over. Now, that's the sacrifice to the freedom of speech and the freedom of movement. And then it's over. It's done. It's done. It was like just yesterday when we started in January 10th, when we started just for $1. I think now it's probably like, you probably get like $9. There it is, $9.91 for 10,000 points. That is crazy. So with PulseX wrapping up, it's time for the next step. Now remember, my feeling towards PulseX is it was about $1 billion. It is $1 billion. It's going to be $1 billion contributed to PulseX. But I feel like PulseX was a lot of people making up because they didn't jump on PulseChain. Now that's my personal theory, but we'll have to see. Only time will tell. All right, now this is the important part here. Very important part. Richard Heart. I actually missed this tweet. Trayvon James did a video on it. And then I'm like, oh my God, how did I miss that? And I was home this morning. All right. 7:30 a.m. this morning, Richard Heart tweeted out, PulseX.com screenshots my devs have sent me. I have not reviewed them yet. Sacrifice phase ends in around 12 hours. Don't miss it. So I'm assuming Richard Heart's going to be doing a video. So I got to hurry up and get this one out. Or as usual... He will definitely trump me. All right. But if you take a look at this here, it's a good view into what PulseX, which is going to be a DEX, is going to look like. Trayvon James definitely had a lot of information towards this, way more than I do. Like I know how to use the DEXs; they're pretty user friendly. But he had more in-depth knowledge about it. So I suggest you check out his video. Let's see here what it's looking like though. So right here we have the stake PulseX buyback pool. So that's going to be the pool setup. Stake your PulseX, receive XPLSX. By holding XPLSX, you are participating in the PulseX buybacks, which are using a 0.07% of trading fees to buy back PulseX and sending them to this pool. Doing so increases PulseX ratio meaning you will be able to claim back increasingly more PulseX for every XPLSX token you are holding. Okay, typical pool stuff. Stake your PulseX and receive XPLX. By holding XPLSX, excuse me, you are participating in PLSX buybacks, which are, anyway, I'm not going to read all this, but you get the idea as we flip through these screens here. It's pretty cool. If you're not on Twitter yet, what are you doing, guys? You got to be on Twitter. That's where all the information is. I keep preaching it. Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I don't like Discord that much, but there's still a lot to be learned on Discord. Hex has Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX. Their main hub, I would say, would be Telegram and Twitter, though. Farm, stake LP. Okay, so they're going to farming in there. That's good. That's cool. Put your money to work. All right. Well, anyway, I just wanted to show you guys, just flip through these screens real quick, just get a feeling what it's going to look like. I mean, when you start showing these screens, you got to be getting real close. Oh, they're going to have a voting mechanism in there. Okay. Now, I remember the voting thing was part of the DAO. Oh, this is the part that Trayvon James has a theory that the PLSX token is going to be also the incentive token. I have to wait and see how it's all going to play out, though. Something to be truly excited about, though. All right, now let's keep this moving forward here. 'Cause I'm really expecting Richard Heart to do a video today, so I want to get mine out before he gets his out. It is what it is. All right, I'm going to take a quick peek here at the overall total market cap. You can see where we had a really hard dip yesterday, dropped down to this new resistance point at 1.524 trillion. Then it came back up to 1.713 trillion. And it looks like it's a good solid strong resistance point. Now the stronger resistance point is actually all the way down at 1.326 trillion. So let's hope we don't have to visit that. All right. Oh, sorry. Let me go back over here. You can see that the fear and greed index has us very much so on the greedy side of things. Please remember, as Warren Buffett says, be greedy. No, I'm sorry, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. So you should have been greedy yesterday. Just saying. All right. Now we're going to jump over to here. I'm starting to dev into this a little deeper. This cipher chart is very deep, and I'm ready to start approaching these waves with you guys. So bear with me as I stumble a little bit, but we learn together, and the same stuff's available to you on TradingView. And I have the exact same chart information on a previous video I did for TradingView. All right, so right here we got a trend change. That's what I wanted to see. So this triangle here is reversal of previous trend. Obviously, the previous trend is bearish. So right now we're looking bullish. That's very good, very, very good. And then we have a little bullish continuation down here. Where as you can see is yesterday it flashed with a short signal, or the day before yesterday, short signal, and then the whole market crashed basically, and now it's coming back up. So that's very, very motivating for the overall crypto market cap. Now down here on the bottom, you'll see this little green dot right here. That green dot is stating a local market bottom, strong buy signal and uptrends, cautionary sign for shorters and downtrends, primary trigger on all time frames. So seeing this green down here at the bottom, that's all good. We're about to go up, and obviously we are going up. All right, right now we have this little blue wave right here. Now that dark blue wave, let's go through this all together. White wave is leading, blue wave is lagging. Alert functionality when the waves cross over each other. Clear overbought and oversold readings. Easily spot divergent price action. It's too deep. I'll play with that later, and then I'll school you guys in that once I truly get the hang of that. All right, so we're going to jump to the next chart here. All right, this chart's much more straightforward, guys. Now we're going to talk Bitcoin now. Now remember, I always go over Bitcoin and overall market cap, so we know why Hex is what we hopefully understand why Hex is doing what it's doing. Okay, so right now we have Bitcoin here. And you can see yesterday, Bitcoin had a nasty dipped all the way down to about 34,385. Hit a good point of resistance right here, actually. I just noticed this. I'm kind of embarrassed to say I just noticed this. So let's fix this here. I should have quit this earlier, actually. I probably did. I did a separate video for Cardano earlier, if you guys didn't catch that one. You really should check out that Cardano video. I listed a bunch of projects that I'm going to be buying into. Do not sleep on Cardano. Do not sleep on Cardano. All right. Let's see. Okay, so you had this point of resistance here at 34,300, basically. It looks like a strong resistance point, too. I would declare that to be a strong resistance point. And right now we're sitting at 38,691. It broke through this resistance right here yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to erase this resistance out. No longer matters. If the 34,300 does not hold in the future, the next one's at 32,000. If that does not hold, the next one's at 29,000. And you can see over here where these resistances are, why I drew it, where I drew it. All right. Right now, volume looks very healthy. A lot of buying going on right now for Bitcoin. And we are definitely in the greed part of the fear and greed index down here. All right. Let's jump over one. Now we're going to take a peek at the moving averages for Bitcoin. We're going to do we're going to start doing it in multiple days. All right. So if we look at the day average for Bitcoin, so we're going to look at the moving averages in the day, and then the 4 hour, and then the 2 hour range, okay? Because it does make a difference. And you can see on a day chart, there is positive movement in the moving average. And you can see it's kind of came over the 20-day average, which is the green. The 100-day dropped underneath the 200-day, which is not good. But we have to wait and see what happens there. And then you can see the RSI is pretty neutral, a little bit on the oversold side of things, but it's pretty much neutral territory. And looking at the day chart, it has the MACD actually has us in the bearish trend. Now, if you look at it in the 4 hour trend, it will show that we're very much so still in the death cross. 20 days all the way down here at the bottom, then the 50. 200, 100, very bad. Does not look good at all. But the 4 hour does have the RSI, which is in a neutral territory. So sales are not too much being sold, not too much being brought, like more stable territory. And it was in a bearish territory, but now it's starting to roll towards neutral, which falls in line with the RSI. I'm sorry, bullish territory in the MACD, but now it's starting to fall in line with the like neutral territory, like according to the RSI. All right. And we'll jump to the next chart here. All right, we have the market cipher. I don't want to get too deep because this baby gets more and more tricky the more I try to learn about it. But I just want to be honest. I don't want to lead people down the wrong paths. All right, the good news is Bitcoin also experienced the previous trend reversal. And there's bearish continuations. We do have a little bit of a we have a red bar there, but that doesn't mean nothing necessarily. Down here at the bottom, you see that red dot, so it's looking good, actually. I foresee Bitcoin, it looks like it's going to hold. But it's all about what happens in that market. And there's so much going on in the world right now with Russia, because basically they're shutting down Russia's economy. And this is something a little deep that I want to throw it in a video. Why not do it now since we're on Bitcoin before we get to HEX? Here's the catch, guys. I love cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency was created by Satoshi Nakamoto. Forget my two first. Anyways, Satoshi created Bitcoin. Now, he created Bitcoin for multiple reasons. One of the reasons is to take away the power of the traditional banking system. So, right now, the world can shut down Russia's economy, a huge part of their economy, by just shutting down the banks and saying you no longer have access to your funds. Now, that is because of the traditional banking system. With cryptocurrency, that would never happen. It can happen. But it's also used as a tool to police the world. So trust me on this. Governments are going to have to figure out a way how to control it because they're going to want to control it. It's coming, guys. Because like right now, the ruple's dropping rapidly. There's no access to any other currencies to Russia. And yeah, it's one of the tools they've been using. They took away their access to SWIFT, which I believe is European. SWIFT is actually European, but they're taking away their access to that. So there's like so much being done that they couldn't do if they were on cryptocurrency. So that's where all the regulation and the control will come into play. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but it's just something I noticed. I wanted to throw it out there at you. Something to think about. All right. Let's jump forward here. So let's say here. All right, so now we're gonna look at Hex. Hex has been in the downtrend since September 20th. It's been a continuous downtrend since September 20th. The uptrend was broken very lightly yesterday. So lightly, I left my wedge in here because I think it might come right back over it like it did back here. But it broke down. It's right here. You can see where it broke through. Here, let me make it bigger. Yeah, there you go. Barely can see it, but right now we're back up in the wedge, and I truly think that before PulseChain comes out, it's just my theory, before this wedge breaks down here, PulseChain is going to come out. But that's just my little theory. That's about a 2-month window there, guys. But I have nothing to base it on, just my gut. All right. But Richard Heart's been saying 2 months all along. All right. So right now, let's see, Hex is sitting at 15 cents. It's kind of like this point where we always thought that it was going to hold out at, and that's where it's at, 15 cents. So only time will tell what's going to happen with Hex. But right now, at least we're back up in that wedge. It looks a little bit better there. Moving averages on Hex. For the 4-hour moving average, Hex looks not that great. 20-day moving average, then a 50, then 100, then a 200. The MACD has it starting to cross over into a bullish territory ever so slightly. In the RSI, it's actually showing it on the oversold side of things. Now, if we look at this on the 1-day chart, doesn't look much better. Not at all. So it is what it is, right, guys? Yeah. Now, the MACD on a 1-day chart definitely has it on the oversold side of things, and so is the RSI. But, yeah. All right, let's jump over here. All right, now the Bollinger Bands. Now, the Bollinger Bands is actually giving a different signal on a 4-hour chart, which is very interesting. Because the Bollinger Bands are saying that it is on the overbought side of things, which is really rather weird. I kind of want to look. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart real quick. Yeah. Sure is. All right, so the Bollinger Band is stating that is actually going more so towards the overbought side, which is kind of weird. I want to do a little bit more research into that later, but you can see the volume down here is really, really good, so there's no question. So I'm not really sure why the charts are giving two separate signals. Really weird. Let me click on this real quick. You guys can do this with me. No, set right. Okay. All right, well, we'll check it out a little bit more later. That's interesting. That's why technical analysis is so fun. All right, just so you guys know what I'm talking about, like right here when I'm looking at this, by it coming up to this blue line up here, it tells me that it is when it crosses over the orange on this upper side here, that's when it enters into the overbought side of things. On the underside is the oversold. You can see sometimes it can go parabolically oversold and drop out of the complete band itself. But yeah, we're going to see why there's such a different reading between these two charts, because it shouldn't be. All right, let's keep moving. All right, so according to my knockoff market cipher chart here, Hex is looking, there is not a change from the previous trend here, trend reversal. Let's look at it under the 1-day. Nope, no change there. And we're going to go to the 2-hour. What date? Nope, no change. So actually, according to the market cipher, Hex is still on a downward trend. So we have to wait and see what happens. Yep. But according to the market cipher, it's still on a downward trend. But there is some stability coming in from the bottom with this red dot right here. So maybe it's just starting to swing around. But I was hoping to see a trend reversal pop up for Hex today. But it's not there yet. All right. Now I drew this wedge the other day. This chart means more to me than all the other ones combined because it just is very cut and dry, guys. I drew a wedge here, and it started on, what is this, February 9th. And you can see it stays in this wedge perfectly the whole way. And then it finally just barely popped out of it yesterday. Just a hair. And now it broke out the top part of the wedge, which tells me that when it goes out the top portion of the wedge, that's a strong signal. It doesn't mean you're out of the woods yet, but it's a strong signal that it came out the top part. If it dropped out the bottom, it would say we're going to go lower. And it's a really easy way to track the market. And this is showing, this one RSI is showing me the correct reading. So I think there's something wrong with this RSI chart back here. I gotta look at the numbers in it. Something's off. No big deal though. All right. I didn't do a Fibonacci retracement. Do you guys want a Fibonacci retracement? I'm asking you and you can't answer. That's pretty stupid. So we'll do a Fib retracement real quick, guys. Just to remind you how the Fib works. Where is it? There she goes. And we are going to pick the recent high. No. Let's go for a relatively recent high here. This looks good. All right, so we're going to go to this back to like December 30th or so. And we're going to do a retracement. Wrong way. All right. We're going to do a retracement on the Fibonacci here. And we're going to jump up to the 50% point. And now the reason I'm showing you this is until we pass this 50% point here, we're on a downward trend, guys. So we could turn around and go up 8 cents tomorrow. And I'm still going to say we're on a downward trend. Until we pass, it looks like 23 cents roughly, I'm going to consider us on a downward trend. And there's actually higher points I can choose, but I feel like this one's pretty fair. It might be off just a hair because I'm rushing it. Yeah, it's off just a hair. All right. And yeah, make sure it's coming to the right bottom over here. Yep. All right, so 50% point would be 23, 24, say 24 cents. So until HEX gets to 24 cents, I definitely consider it in a bearish trend. Now, because if it gets rejected by this 50% point right here in the middle, it's got to break that basically. And that point will swing it around, and then you'll do a fib retracement going the opposite direction to make sure you're buying in at the correct point. But here's the catch with this, is knowing when to buy in. At that point, you should already brought it. So in my opinion, I will buy HEX now. I don't usually say when to, not to. I think now is a good price for HEX. I think it's a very good price. I was hoping it was going to go down a little bit more, but I'm not sure if it is now. I think it's at a good price. But don't hold me to it, please. I'm just an ordinary guy on the internet. You got to do your own research. All right. All right, we got this done. Did this. All right. Real quick, guys. Liquid loans. They are basically very similar to Celsius Network. Basically, you can take your HEX and how does it work again? You can use your HEX as collateral. So what you'll do is you'll take, say, $300 worth of HEX, and then you will get a loan from them of $100. Now, here's the cool part about it. I don't believe there's any interest rate, and there's no time frame you have to pay them back by, but your HEX is held as collateral against it. Well, there has to be a time frame of some sort, but your HEX is held as a collateral, but it's no set payment schedule. And it's a pretty cool concept because it allows you, I mean, because there's times like I have a lot of Cardano, but I don't want to sell none of my Cardano. Well, if Cardano had a similar setup, which there is one coming, you could take your Cardano and not touch it and take a loan against it and then pay that loan back and get your Cardano back, because you never know what the market's going to do. And it really sucks to cash in, say, $1,000 of your crypto for something, and then you cash it in, and then 2 months later that crypto is worth $1,800. You get the idea? All right. So that's basically what they do. Right now they're in the sacrifice phase, and that's what I really want to go over. There's another video of this that I've done in the past. It's real easy. You guys just jump back to my previous videos. You know what I mean? All right. So they're in the sacrifice phase. They've passed the initial portion of it. Looks like there's 15 hours and 38 minutes left on day 6. So right now it's a little bit, just a hair more expensive than the first day. And basically they're following the same pattern as HEX did with being able to donate towards liquid loans here. Now, have I donated? No, I have not. I'm probably going to sit this one out and buy in at the end. I don't know. I'm on a fence. I might throw a little bit at it just to see. But so for example, on day 11, 10,000 points will be 1.05 stable coins. On day 12, 10,000 points will be 1.1025 stable coins. So it's very similar to the same way that PulseX was set up. And I guess PulseChain too. Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse. There is something in here that I wanted to show you, though, that is different. Okay, I have to read this so that nobody messes up. All right. Sacrifice transactions from your wallet will contain all the information necessary to determine the total amount sacrificed, the points received for sacrifice, and the additional points you may receive by delaying receipt of any points. You can delay your points receivable with this project. The amount of stable coins you send to the sacrifice wallet will also help to determine the delay in receiving your points. You need to use cents to nominate these delays. So, if you send 0.00, you will receive your points immediately. If you designate a longer delay than 24 months, 26, like you put 26.26, you will receive your points immediately as if you had entered 00. For months 1 through 9, remember to the left pad cents with 0. So for example, month 3 should be .03, not .3. Month 9 should be .09, not 9. And you can do multiple sacrifices. But basically, I just wanted to drop this in your lap. I was watching a video every day. The developers, they were like, the people who came up with this project, they were a little concerned that this people may mess this part up. So I just wanted to throw it out there at you. But I do think the project's legit. But it's legit enough because everything is in crypto is a risk. You know what I mean? Especially something like this technically doesn't even exist yet. So this is the bottom floor. No risk, no reward is what it is. All right, so that's called liquid loans, guys. Now the next one, I will be a hypocrite. I'd be a liar not to say I have a little bit more faith. And the only reason I say I have a little bit more faith in this one is because I saw Richard Heart actually do a video with the guy who came up with this. And I don't forgot his name like a dummy. Anyway, I saw Richard Heart do a video with the guy who came up with this. And this is Mintra. It's NFT based, and it's just like I think Liquid Loans is actually much further along than Mintra is. But if you click on to their sacrifice, it's the instructions to sacrifice to Mintra. So those are two airdrops, both being built on and for PulseChain that you guys can take part in if you choose. But remember, you got to do your own research. Make sure you do your research and make sure you do it thoroughly. All right, that is it. Telegram. Please join my Telegram. My Telegram, every day I want to get in there and chat with people, and there's 3 people in it. One of them's a relative. Kind of lonely. So, you guys, there's a link in here. Join that Telegram group, man, for Retro Crypto. Let's start talking. Hey, you may have some projects I haven't heard about. I may have something you haven't heard about. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and join my group in Telegram, Retro Crypto. There's a link in the description. And Twitter, of course. Make sure you're on Twitter. Subscribe to my, follow me on Twitter. And that is it. So, until next time, stay blessed, stay happy. And for the people in Ukraine, most of all, stay safe. All right, guys. Peace out.